David Cormo is a red. Welcome to your Forest News. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to your latest Forest news. Coming up, we'll tell you about Forest's latest signing, who ain't going to be hanging around for long. I'll give you my thoughts on the match reaction. I'll try and give you some stuff on Nketiah. A lot of you are asking about him. I'll give you the latest, but I'll tell you now, spoiler alert, nothing really has moved since the game. And if you're enjoying the content, as always, please don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. And Surfshark, I can't recommend it enough. If you have Netflix in the UK, we are missing out. You need to unlock the US package. To do that, use the VPN from Surfshark. Make sure you select USA as your country. Load up your Netflix on that device. And hey presto, the whole library opens up to you. Use code FFTV. You get 4 months for free and 83% off as well. Links in the comments or scan the QR code. All right, let's get into the latest Forest signing. So David Cormo has signed for Nottingham Forest, and this was confirmed by Romano. But there is a but in this one. Let me read you out his tweet first. So Romano tweeted saying, David Cormo to Nottingham Forest is a here we go. Deal in place to sign Carmo on an €11 million deal plus 4 in add-ons. Carmo will sign for Forest, and then here's the but, and then join Olympiakos on loan for the season. Centre-back flying out tonight to sign a 5-year deal. So let's unpack this because there's a lot to talk about here. Firstly, who is he? Well, he's a centre-back that plays on the left-hand side. He's a bit of a giant at 6'4", left-footed, very composed, very good in the air for me. And can have a little disciplinary record from what I've seen of him, but quite aggressive as well in the tackle, hence where that comes from. He's a good centre-back. I like him. And the question is, why is he going to Olympiakos? And why are Forest funding Olympiakos? This is now the second player that we've sent their way after paying their bills, basically. But it's not that simple. You have to break it down to understand it. Look, this is a player who, in my opinion, was scouted as cover as an insurance policy had Forest sold Murillo earlier in the window. And Forest would have looked to bring him in as the replacement. And now they're forward planning for this. The likelihood is Murillo's had a solid start to the season. His profile is going to grow as the Premier League continues. If he continues to improve, Forest will definitely look at next summer and the potential of how much they can get for Murillo, while already having this insurance policy in the background. Now, when you break this deal down, it's not going to cost Forest anything this year. So the amortization of this at €11 million will cost Forest about €2.2 million a year. That's about $1.5 million, 1.7, roughly in the sterling and pounds conversion. And what they will do, they will charge Olympiakos this loan fee, more than likely at the very least break even, if not make a little profit on it. He will get to play with Olympiakos. They'll be, I think they've got qualifiers for the Europa League as well, so he'll get European experience. He as well is coming from Porto, where he's played 16 matches. They bought him from Braga for about €20 million. So you can see that his price has come down a little bit. But this is just succession planning as far as I'm concerned. Look, am I happy that Marinakis keeps being the sugar daddy for Olympiakos through Forest? It's not something I'm a massive fan of, I'll be honest with you. I'd rather, or potentially we could have used that €11 million to get someone who's going to be better than Nketiah, for example. You know, that could go towards that. That would be my negative spin on it. But overall, what people can't really say is that Forest aren't forward planning. People complained when we came into the Premier League, in this helter-skelter approach, signing whatever came in front of it. And now, when Forest are future-proofing and future planning, people are complaining as well. Some people will not be pleased either way. And I can understand both sides of this argument. Now, the other thing to say is he's not a young buck. He's 25 years old, I believe. So it's not really like replacing a 21, 22-year-old Murillo for someone who's up and coming, who's gone and got experience. He should be ready for, his next move now. So that's the deal with this one. But I want to know from you guys, do you like this whole Olympiakos insider sister club trading that Forest tend to do? Or would you rather we just had our money, we bought our players with it, and they do what they need to do? Because you could argue it could have been done the other way around. Olympiakos go and buy him for 11 million euros. And then if he's good enough, Forest could loan him off them next season or buy him or whatever the case may be. And, we've seen it fail in a few occasions with Omar Richards last year. We've seen, I think, Scarpa went there. Did Josh Bowler go there 2 years ago? I can't remember. And one or two others as well. So, do we need to see too much of this? And these players that end up going to Olympiakos never seem to come back to Forest and break into the first team. So, what are your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, so let me give you a very quick summary of the game yesterday as Forest beat Southampton 1-0. We'll, of course, cover this off in detail in Grumpy Old Reds tonight. I think it's at 8 p.m. Make sure you got your notifications on. Now, there's so much I liked about the game. Firstly, the 3 points. Very welcome. If I'm not mistaken, that's 3 away wins on the bounce in the Premier League, if you obviously roll it over from last season. Someone fact check me on that one and let me know in the comments. I'm pretty sure we beat Sheffield and Burnley. And then this, it must be 3. Anyway, double check it for me. But there's so much to like about it. I thought the team selection was very balanced at the start. I like the substitutions Nuno made. There was, 23 chances created away from home. Yes, the possession stats were a little low in the end at 35%. But as I told you guys before, that's the way Martins plays with Southampton. And I expected them to have the majority of the possession. So much positive to take from it. The couple of negatives for me is still the dead ball situations from an attacking sense. I thought from a defensive point of view, Milenkovic was actually ordering people around, telling them who they should pick up, where they should be. He was absolute class for me yesterday. Okay, he should have scored the chance that came to him, but it will come. I can see him being a threat for us in positive attacks as well as when defending the ball. But even though we took Morgan Gibbs-White off corners, I thought the corners were hitting the first man every single time from Elanga. I thought Anderson's dead balls weren't that great either, and they've been really good pre-season. And I just think Forest are just too far forward when corners come. I'd like to see a lot more of the players lining up on the edge of the box and then attacking the ball, because then you're attacking it with pace and momentum, and it just feel very easy to pick up and mark. That's really my only negative from the game. My biggest plus is the way we managed that game out. Just a week ago against Bournemouth, we couldn't do it. And we saw Milenkovic holding his head when he went down, even though it wasn't a head injury. Ryan Yates buying a free kick. Taiwo buying free kicks as well, wrestling the ball, up the pitch. All those are positive signs. But we need a striker for sure. And look, let's talk about Eddie. I'm going to slowly come around to him. I still don't want him. There's no changing in my stance there. I think we could get a lot better. But if he comes, there will be different dynamics he can offer. And I will not be happy about this transfer until basically he signs it and then it's okay. Wave the white flag. I've got to get behind him. He's a Forest player. But I can still have my opinion on the thoughts of the player. Now, I think he will give us a different element. Because Chris Wood, for me, was still playing too deep yesterday. If he's not scoring a goal, he's struggling to get involved in the game. And the press is really weak from Forest, even yesterday, especially in the second half. And Nketiah will be one that presses, hopefully. I'm trying to be positive about it. So the latest on him is basically not much, as I said to you at the start. There was some questions asked of Arteta pre-match, and he said he expected Eddie Nketiah to be training with Arsenal and be named potentially in the squad against Villa, and that's exactly what happened. He was on the bench, he didn't come on, but he was part of the squad. In fact, his Let me read you out his statement here. He said, I expect Eddie to train with us today, to be prepared for tomorrow. That's it. Whatever happens will happen if it's good for everybody. So within that, there's still signs that the expectation is that he will be leaving Arsenal. And then post the Forest match, Nuno was asked about transfers, and I got a quote for you guys from what he said. He said, you know how it is. We go now, and when you wake up, you don't know what's going to happen. It's a weird quote. He said after the game after they claimed the 3 points on the South Coast, there are so many things going on in the transfer window. Surprise moves from all the teams. All the clubs in the Premier League are looking at these final days of the window to get the final deals right. As long as we are the same, I will be okay. But let's see what happened. Honestly, it's not the most cohesive phrase I've ever seen or quote from a manager, but I think it's just another hint that he expects some movement to happen. Now, could he have been talking about our latest signing from Porto in David Cormo? Maybe, but I think he's still hinting towards Eddie Nketiah. So I expect this one to go through. I'll begrudgingly get behind it when it happens, but it doesn't change my stance on me thinking we could do better on it. But there's no real new update on it, is the message I'm giving to you. But this is Forest. Updates happen like that. New players come through the door like that. So expect something potentially to start picking up before the Newcastle game. Remember, the transfer deadline, I believe, is this Friday. So things have to start moving, which means you guys need to have your notifications on. So if you've enjoyed the content and haven't hit the like, please do so now. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV. Get those bell alerts on. You're definitely going to need them this week. We'll see you tonight for Grumpy Old Reds. And as always, come on you Reds.